Okay, so I started a daily podcast with my good friend Ryan Say. Now, Ryan is based in Chiswick in London. I'm based just outside Belfast in Northern Ireland. We had this idea ages ago. We wanted to start this daily podcast, radio show inspired, video merge. Anyway, it's done. It's now something we do, and it's called The Over and Out Show. It's built by a fact that we used to talk daily on Instagram stories. We used to chat back and forth, sending voice messages. It got very confusing, so we took the old school walkie-talkie structure and applied it to that, where we'd send our voice messages and then say over when we were finished, and the other one would know he's finished having a yarn, and then when he finished, over, blah, 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 and then out when you were done. And that conversation very quickly turned into phone conversations daily. So that's where this came from, the Over and Out Show. You can watch or listen to it on loads of different platforms. We're pushing it on IGTV, and they're half-an-hour episodes every single day. But a few people have asked how we're doing it, and we wanted to show you how we're producing a daily remote podcast that we feel is a little bit different from other stuff that's out there. So come and have a look. So we have these daily conversations that have stemmed from this early Instagram conversation into a daily phone call. And that's kind of what the podcast is all about. Sometimes it's technical talk and it's advice, or it's stuff we've learned, or it's techniques, or it's creative ideas. But it's mostly just talking shit, and then there's some education. And we wanted to create a show that was more lighthearted, something that's real and something that's honest. So the conversations that we have on the Over and Out Show are just straight up unedited. Unless we say something that we definitely shouldn't have, it goes in. So it's like a non-stop, unedited, honest conversation between two friends and who work professionally as creatives. So let's get technical and take a look at the setup that we're using to record this. Now, the one thing we wanted with this show from the beginning was the feeling that we were in the same room. We wanted people to see it, watch it, and feel like the conversation was organic and real. So a large part of the setup was in situating where my computer, my desk, my chair, where Ryan sat in the mirror reflection of that. So a lot of my setup is based on me leaning my left side on my table and looking over at this wall, which is just a wall and at a 1950s futon. But Ryan does the opposite on his side. His computer's set up on the same side. So when we need to access the computer or Google something or reference something during the show, we turn away, reference it, and come back to the conversation. It's because we wanted the viewer at home to feel like they were watching two people that felt like they were fully engaged in a visual conversation as well. It also makes it really funny and allows us to add little funny snippety bits in where we pass stuff between the cameras. The one I haven't really looked at much is this one here, the AVX. Because, and that just gives it a little extra dimension for our own entertainment more than anything else. Having been a guest on a few remote podcasts, both of us agreed that we didn't want to go down the Zoom, Google Hangouts route. That works for a lot of people, but we just don't like the quality. Not most people doing that, the quality is just not quite there. You get that crackly, it's being recorded over the internet nonsense. Do you like that phone call sound? That kind of noise. We didn't want that. We wanted it to feel and sound the same. We wanted the acoustics to sound the same, we wanted the vocals to sound the same, we wanted the visuals to look the same. So a lot of work has gone into setting that thing up. So let's talk technical. What are we shooting this on? What are we recording this on? I am shooting on a Sony a7 III in a small rig cage with a Fieldworld 7-inch monitor and a Sennheiser MKE 400 shotgun microphone. That is just picking up the audio on camera so we can sync it in post. I'm also recording my audio on this little beauty, which is the Sennheiser MK4 digital studio mic. Now this thing is pretty cool. It's sitting on a mic stand here that I can just rotate in and out of shot whenever I need it. And I use this setup now for a piece of cameras. The audio is going into Adobe Audition. The reason we are doing this is we want proper control of what we're doing, video and audio. And also, we wanted to play with these microphones. Mostly because we wanted to play with these microphones.
Right, this is the setup I use for my side of the Over and Out show. It's the Sony a6600, because it's got a nice flip-up screen so I can see what I'm doing. And on top we've got the shotgun mic, the Sennheiser MKE 400, which we will then sync up later on to the audio we get from the MK4 digital from Sennheiser as well, which is plugged straight into my laptop, straight into Audition, which we will then sync up later with the video. Up top we've got the, the Aperture 120D with the mini dome, and that will just light the scene.
Now let's get into the conversation part of it, because we're not using Zoom or Hangouts or anything like that to record this. So what we're doing is headphones. I'm using a Bose QC35s, wireless, synced up to my iPhone, and I'm talking to Ryan through a phone call.
We actually do a proper phone call. We don't use Zoom or FaceTime or Skype or whatever. It's actual old school phone call.
That's it. Nothing fancy. We have tried with like different web apps and we just find them unreliable. The connection drops, you don't know what's going on, but the phone call works. We're probably the only people in the United Kingdom who use a phone as regularly as we do. We often wonder, are our network providers going, why is this line red hot every single day? Why are these dudes, unless they're drug dealers with burner phones, why are they using their phones so much? They have our phone call in our ears, recording video and audio, and I'm just talking to Ryan there. I'm not looking at him. All I'm getting from him is what I can hear, which is what makes it so funny, because I don't know what he's wearing. I don't know how he's reacting to me. I don't know what he's doing when I'm talking, and neither does he. So that makes it quite funny. Now, let's talk workflow. I dump my footage onto the Mac, and then I go into Adobe Audition, and I just add an equalizer and a compressor onto my voice, and that's because I kind of know how my voice reacts and how it peaks and how deep it is. As far as the video goes, we'll bring all those clips into Final Cut Pro, and I'll go to synchronize clips, and I'll call that main sync. If you notice, you know this, but I'm basically syncing the audio from my video to this. I'm doing minimal amounts of work to it in Final Cut. I've got my main sync in there. I'm really just going. So that basically leaves just the audio that was coming through the MK4 digital. As we create a shared Google Drive for each episode as we go, and I'll just drag my clip up. It hops over to Ryan's side.
Then I'll download it either that night if we've done it early enough, import my footage into Final Cut, the mix down of the audio that I've taken from Adobe Audition. So the first thing I do is I go to the end and find where the clap is. He'll put his headphones over the microphone so we can sync the clap. So it'll be there, and you can see I'm doing it. Yeah, I usually do it in about line with that white shelving unit. And you can have a quick scrub through. It's roughly about right. Bring up his exposure a bit. We both got it on auto white balance and no picture profile, so they should roughly be the same. What I like to do is just put a compressor on each of our audios, just so it levels all the volume out. Is because Dylan set up all the intro and the outro, and we've sorted out how we're going to do that. I'll open up the last project we did, literally just copy paste and just have a quick check. We've got our grade that I've done, which I just put on tops.
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
And that's it. Audio done. And final export will be my own little formula here, which is called YouTube 1080. It's a little export that I created in compressor, designed specifically for what YouTube recommends in terms of codec, bitrate, all that kind of stuff. And then I just upload that export to YouTube, upload the audio and all the stills to our Google Drive for Dylan. There you go. That is how I edit the Over and Out podcast. We can get the whole thing done in about 10 minutes of actual work. We try not to edit any of the actual timeline out because we want to make this process as quick as possible, so it's usually just top and tailing it, exporting it, and we're all good to go.
Right, okay, so once Ryan is finished with his side, I'll go through and create the thumbnails for IGTV and for YouTube using a bunch of the stills that he's bounced out. I'll then have to go through and upload the audio version to Anchor FM. Anchor is our podcast distribution platform that'll push it out to things like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Ryan has uploaded video to YouTube on his side, so I'll bounce into our YouTube and I'll go through and add my new thumbnail. I'll add an end screen on the end of it. I'll type up whatever the description is, add in any relevant tags or channel tags, hashtags, all of that sort of bullshit. I'll download that video from YouTube. Now this bit might seem a little bit crazy when you first hear me say it. However, how we do this is IGTV is a little bit, it doesn't really like big files. So anything over 2 GB really struggles. And while we use the desktop to upload it, it still fails a lot. I've exported it and compressed in Final Cut and brought them down, shot out 720 versions. And even those are really bad. But what I happened to find out by pure luck was if I download the video that Ryan's uploaded to YouTube, it downloads really compressed, still of a really good quality. YouTube almost compresses it better than we are doing in Final Cut, and it'll give us a pretty good quality file for Instagram. So I'll then upload that file through IGTV. IGTV can be a bit of a bell end. So you upload the video file to IGTV and it goes through the whole rigmarole, right? You go through, you get your description, add that in, give it a title name, there you go. The description is uploading the file. Once it's finished, you hit post. Now, Normally I've done the YouTube and the Anchor FM first, and I've scheduled them for about 4 o'clock, given whatever time you upload it. But the IGTV one, when it goes to processing, it just processes for eternity. Go for an hour, go for 10 days. But I've never seen it go from processing to post properly. It just never seems to work. So what we tend to do, and this is completely ridiculous, but it works, is when it says processing in IGTV on desktop, I click on that thing and hit edit video and hit post again. It immediately posts a video to IGTV and then leaves a duplicate processing. I click on that duplicate and hit delete, and it's done. No fucking around. No waiting for 600 years for Instagram to pull its finger out of its asshole. It's up. And there you go. Ryan will often bounce me out a blooper reel that we can stick that up. And from there, once those things are all posted, the two of us will just take turns in sticking it on stories, on some Twitter posts, and then distributing it on our own channels. But what's really good about this whole thing is it's a really good team effort. I think to do something daily like this by yourself is going to be quite tricky, but knowing that there's two of us here, not only are we splitting and sharing the workload, but see being responsible for someone else as well. See having someone else rely on you, that is that bit that gets you through when you can't be fucking bothered. You know those bits where you get up and you go, I quit, I can't. And I've had days like that, and Ryan's had days like that. But when you have that day and you know that that other person is relying on you to record the damn podcast and do your bit to make it go into production, that really, really helps you get it done and helps you motivate. And just helps you push through those low points. Quite often those low points are what stop you from doing it full stop. So once you push through that, then the next day you're often fine. So there you go. Hopefully you found that kind of interesting. It's quite a feat every single day. And the first few episodes were a bit tricky, but we've got them into a routine now where we kind of know what we're doing. We know who's responsible for what, and it's just a really solid team effort to bring this to production every single day. So if you've liked this video, I'd love it if you go check out the Over and Out show. There's links below to it there. You can watch it on IGTV, you can watch it on YouTube, you can listen to it on Anchor or Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's available in loads of different platforms. We really feel like the video version of it gets across the style of what we do a bit better. We're big fans of Instagram, and we like IGTV, so we want to create something a little bit different. And so many people are sitting around using their phones nowadays. Maybe it's just something that's a bit more accessible for you to sit and watch. And because it's only half an hour, I mean, half an hour every day is actually quite a bit of time to watch. But hey, I mean, you would watch Friends for 20 minutes, and we've watched those on repeat for years. So try something different. Go and watch the Over and Out show. Go take a look. Let us know what you think of it. Subscribe to the channels. And if you have any questions, drop them below. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed the Over and Out show. And I'll see you next week.